It sounds like you're modern day hippies.
It does.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to Let Me Ask You Something, the weekly podcast where I, M.D. Pittman, talk to everyday ordinary people about something extraordinary that's happening in their lives. This week I talked to Samantha and Kayla Stewart. Now, I'm releasing this early because I'm really anxious about this interview. Anxious that it's exciting for me to release this because they have a very interesting story, they have a very important story, and they have a very emotional story. And I've tried to set this up many times, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Without further ado, here are Samantha and Kayla Stewart. Kayla and Samantha, why did you guys do the road trip from California to Ohio?
It wasn't so much a road trip from California to Ohio. In our heads, I felt like for us, it was more about trying to find ourselves. And I know that sounds corny, but it's true. So a lot of people, including us, we've spent years and years doing the hustle of creating a business and, you know, being behind a desk and trying to be something important in life. And then it just kept falling flat where we weren't happy. Like, it kept falling back to a very big feeling of an unhappiness.
Like, people base success off of how far you've come in your life.
How much money you make.
To us, it's like, you know, you can be a billionaire, but the question is, are you happy? And we kept, like, regardless of the success that we kept getting, it's like we didn't feel that we were fulfilling our calling, fulfilling our purpose.
And it's funny because the universe has a very firm way of showing you you're supposed to make changes. So we put all the work in creating a business that kept failing. Doesn't mean we were doing anything wrong. That's the universe's way of saying there's a shift coming. So we literally keep listening to those shifts. Is it hard? Yes, but we have to. And that's what we literally live by, is trying to pay attention to the subtle signs. So we got a van. We got it for $5,000. I think it's like $5,500, and we literally converted it into an off-grid. I ran solar. It pretty much could sustain itself. So where we stayed was Bureau of Land Management's. We were in a flood. Cars were flooded all around us because we were in a wash area and didn't know it.
But we got to help a bunch of people, like, dig them out. And
they literally were sunk in mud we were all stranded in a flood because we were in Bureau of Land Management in Arizona that we did not know was a heavy wash area that flooded. So
it was really like, when we were living van life, it was an opportunity for us to really find ourselves and realize what we're meant to be doing. Because when you're, like, working 24/7, which granted we still had to work and make money to pay for gas and to pay for that journey. Yeah. But it's like when you're working 24/7, you don't really have that open mental clarity space where you can realize, is what I am doing right now for the greater good of the rest of my life, the rest of the world? Like, what can I do to better my life and the lives of others?
Yeah. Now, it's not to say this in a negative way. It sounds like you're modern day hippies.
It does.
Thank you.
It's kind of.
Or I didn't mean it meant it as a compliment too.
Right. Yeah. It's probably the truth, but behind it is more and more people are doing it. One, because financially sustainable. Mm-hmm. Two, you own the vehicle. Most people try to own it anyway. Some of those are so expensive, like they can run $100,000.
The more bougie van life.
Yes. Yeah, like I think it was a 95 or a 99, I don't remember. But
yeah, we called it like the shag wagon because it was like the total surfer mobile.
Yeah, but it is more of like a hippie lifestyle because yes, we're barefoot. Yes, we sometimes showered outside. Yeah, we went like old school with it, with how we had to take care of like several different things. And like we showered at Planet Fitness. Like people are like, how do you shower? Well, we got a Planet Fitness membership and it's like $25 a month.
Like we were able to
literally
shower
every day.
Yeah.
Like you can go work out, You shower.
And
You
if there
do-
wasn't like a place for us to shower, whether it's a public shower or a gym, then we would be showering in the river with Dr. Bronner's biodegradable soap. So there is a hippie connection to that.
She mentioned that because hippies are like, you're polluting the water.
Which
It's not
is
just
true.
hippies.
Soap
A lot
does,
of
but
eco-friendly people are, because Dr. Bronner's is essential oil. It's not polluting anything, but yeah, it's the. So you asked, the journey from Ohio to California it's the purpose behind it was soul discovery.
Okay.
It's literally trying to find our inner hearts, my inner heart, her inner heart, to find happiness. It is the pursuit of happiness.
Did you find it?
You know, it's funny
we
because
both took a really deep breath.
we ended up renting this. We've been here for over a year and a half, and this is actually the first time we've been together for 12 years. This is the first time that we've really allowed ourselves to settle down this long. This is how much we've traveled.
Okay.
Yeah, so coming here, and then it took my diagnosis for a world to completely, that I thought was I was consciously aware of. It took coming here for this diagnosis to happen, for me to go, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not, because you feel it. It's like a feeling that you cannot let go of.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. Even with her, like, we've questioned our purpose since we've been here. We question all the time, like, why am I here? Why am I on this rock we call Earth with everybody? I'm huge into what's my purpose.
Yeah.
And
Because we both already survived near-death car crashes.
Really?
And that was when we first met. And so it's like, okay, we both survived near-death car crashes. A couple weeks later, we met. And then for some reason, we fall in love and go on this wild journey over the past 12 years of changing who we are as people, not just individually, but for us as a couple as well.
Yeah.
And just really trying to dive deep and figure out, what is our purpose? Why did we survive that car crash? Anyone else, like, they would be like people have told us, you should have died.
Wow.
And we're like, well, we shouldn't have died.
well,
because
more yours, but
there's a greater story. There's a greater reason.
our lives literally have been spent on finding out, and people can ruin themselves over this, trying to figure out your purpose in life.
Yeah.
And it's not at this point trying to figure out my purpose. It's about allowing myself to do the things that I actually love doing.
Yeah.
And I've always suppressed that because I always felt like I needed to be in a state of nirvana before I can go out here and public speak, before I can write a kid's book, if people spent their lives trying to be perfect, you will die before that happens.
Yeah.
No one reaches perfection. You can perfect yourself every day, but you're not going to reach where you're trying to be wholeheartedly. It's like a state of nirvana, the way Jesus was, however. But
it's kind of like if you reach that, if you ever do reach it, which is impossible, now what? You've reached your goal.
Yeah.
You're not driving towards your goal anymore. So
It's like, is it my time to die now? Because I'm perfect.
if it were that simple, everybody would be just floating around like, oh. Life literally, it's an obstacle.
Yeah.
That you need to put your legs in and bring your oars in and let your boat drift.
Just follow the current.
It doesn't mean you can't guide it.
Yeah.
Don't fight it.
Yeah. So, when did you find out about your aneurysm?
So I was diagnosed actually on our 12-year anniversary. December 3rd, I was diagnosed with having a brain aneurysm. At that point, I wasn't told what kind it was. So I connected and I got a neurosurgeon from the Cleveland Clinic. And he had told me that, well, statistically, my aneurysm is rare. It's in my carotid artery. It is considered an ophthalmic aneurysm. So if you follow my right eye back, follow my carotid artery up, this is where it's meeting inside my brain.
Is it operational?
So to do open brain surgery on this runs an extremely high risk of fatality. A lot of open brain surgeries do. So the second option for me was a stent flow diverter. In order for that to happen, I had to be on a very potent blood thinner. And I know people listen to the word like blood thinner, that's simple. This literally takes your platelets and thins them out so thin that, so I have an underlying condition called gastrocardiac syndrome.
Okay.
It's not very well studied in the United States. The vagus nerve in my stomach is damaged. The vagus nerve controls your heart rate, your lungs. It controls whether you will take a breath or continue living. Mine is damaged in my stomach. So it's sending miscommunications to my heart. So this is why I was bedridden in 2014.
Okay.
So I was in and out of the hospital probably 30 times a month because I couldn't get this under control. Even today, that it causes, I can't exercise and stuff like that, but it causes a heart arrhythmia. I can't be on the blood thinner because of the gastrocardiac syndrome. I have to find a way, and they say there's no way to heal this, but I have to find a way, and I'm doing it through my diet. I've lost 20 pounds. I'm a firm believer that the body can heal itself fully. And I'm getting this healed, and then it's almost like a waiting process. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like,
what do you do to how are you healing it? Is it a homeopathy?
So
A hippie
remedy.
It's okay. So it kind of is. So gastrocardiac, it's the more I talk, I swallow air. Mm-hmm. The air puts pressure in my stomach. I eat foods, so I have what's also called gastroparesis. The vagus nerve causes that as well. So it's where when I eat, it ferments. It just sits there. It's not digesting properly. It puts a gas in my stomach, pushing the diaphragm against my heart, causing my heart to go brrr, like my average is 150 beats per minute every day.
Crap.
I'm exhausted.
I'd imagine.
So it feels like I'm running marathon right there.
Yeah.
So I palpitated like, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I'm getting back on track. It's because I'm getting anxiety. Like I get like worked up and then it makes it worse, but you'll notice my face is going to get flush.
Yeah, it's starting a little bit.
So once that does that, my body will regulate back down,
mm-hmm.
and then my blood pressure will start to come back down. It literally my system tries to catch up.
And we have to do everything we can to keep her blood pressure down, because you cannot have a high blood pressure with an aneurysm.
Yeah.
Because it can cause the rupture.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds like a lot of information. That's why I was trying.
It does. I'm following it.
Yeah.
But so
just say she's a hot mess, right?
But so, do they know how to fix it?
The aneurysm.
Yes.
It's either going to be open brain surgery. My neurosurgeon said it's up to me. So the open brain surgery would literally open me up here. The aneurysm I have, without it rupturing, without a rupture, there it is in my head. As it grows, it will make me go blind in my right eye.
If it were to grow.
So as it grows, it pushes against the ophthalmic nerve, causing a permanent blindness in the right eye. Mm-hmm. With an open brain surgery, you run the risk of permanently going blind regardless. You run the risk of cognitive issues, kind of like what you mentioned with that lady you talked to before. Like, there is a huge risk of having it. There's also a risk with the stent flow. You can have a blood clot. You can have a stroke. I knew someone that had 2 strokes, survived both, but it caused permanent damage because the platelets can stick to the stent flow diverter. It can, like, if it's not placed properly, then there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts about it, but for me, until I can get this gastric cardiac issue under control, I personally am not a candidate for anesthesia, for stent flow diverter, because they would take it through my groin, run it up my main artery in my body, and drop the stent flow in my brain.
Yeah, that's sounds like a lot that you can't do, but I can see where the anxiety can be debilitating.
We had her surgery scheduled, but we had to cancel it because of the risks due to gastrocardiac syndrome.
So, what's the title of the book that you're writing, and why are you writing it?
So my kids' book is called Making Sunshine, and since my diagnosis, this couch I'm sitting on, I cried. There is probably 5 pounds of tears in my couch, and that's probably like literally true. But I sat and laid in this couch. I could not get out of it. My depression was at an all-time high, and all I did was cry. Like, and it was kind of about a why me, kind of thing because my dad died of an aneurysm. It ruptured. He was taken off life support in front of me. It was, for me, extremely traumatic watching someone that I love be completely brain dead and telling me I have no options. So my why me was about, okay, my dad died of it. Why did I get it? Like, family history is a very strong connective bond between aneurysms. You run a 50% higher risk of a rupture regardless the size. So I lay here and I cried and cried and cried, and I finally was like, this is not me.
Yeah.
I can die on this couch, or I can get up, do something about it, do something with my life. If I feel this way, and I felt this way, I cannot imagine these kids, regardless of their age, being in children's hospital. And this is coming from deep in my heart, from children's hospitals or foster agencies or kids who are being bullied or LGBT or in Pride Month. All these kids who are feeling displaced or hurt or angry. Like, how can I help kids who are young try to understand, to convert their negative feelings, their pain, their anger, their sadness? Mainly with kids, they're like, I'm sad. So I'm trying to get them with Making Sunshine. It's about a superhero, becoming a superhero, and taking this dark cloud, this sadness, and turning it into making sunshine, turning it into sunshine. The dark cloud represents your feelings. It's something you created. The sunshine is something you created as well. It's about putting a light, a brightness in your life. And it's the illustrations, the parents' jobs or the guardian's jobs is to help the kid understand in a larger context about what I'm trying to say. Because what I'm trying to say is, it's deep. You understand it, and I understand it. I need these kids to understand that in a different way. So this is the mission behind my book. Is it will be launching on Amazon in print and ebook, but I'm donating 40,000 copies of my book to Children's Hospital, to foster agencies. My wife and I will be traveling across the United States hand delivering these. Rady's Children's Hospital reached out to us. It's not something they reached out to us because they've seen our post. St. Joseph Foster Agency, or it's a group home for kids, reached out to us. So I have all these people saying this is amazing and I want to help you. I want to make sure your books get into our hospital because we need that.
When does this book come out?
So I should be launching probably in the next, sorry, my heart palpitated, in the next 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
I want it out in the next 10 days. That's just kind of a projection I've had.
Is this self-published or is this
It is self-published.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I have to cough to reset that. So it is self-published. For me, I feel like I would have more, I don't want to say control, but I would have more direction with how I want my book to be seen or to go and be put out there. Because if I got signed, then I'm not saying I don't want to, but if I got signed, then they would be like, I'm not sure I want to kind of donate that many right now.
Yeah.
So I get to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really want to take my cartoon character, I'll restart that. What? This is doing it bad right now.
You want to take a break?
My face is gonna get red again.
This is all day. Unfortunately, it's
I'm gonna start crying, but it's fine.
You're fine. Just take your time.
Okay. Crying makes it worse, so I have to control that. Okay, I got this.
Would a dad joke help?
Yeah.
Well, why should you never press a 4-leaf clover?
It's bad
Or
luck.
I'm sorry, no. I screwed that up. God damn it. Why should you never iron a 4-leaf clover? You never want to press your luck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I got another one. I won't screw this one up. Okay. What is the only rock group that doesn't play music? Mount Rushmore.
Oh man. It's fine if you leave something in there. I think the vulnerability.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But okay. I forget what you asked me.
I forgot what I asked you too. I guess just talk a little bit about why this is important for you to get this out. Why do you feel the need to do the donations for the 40,000 books?
Okay. So with Children's Hospital, everyone knows that most of those are donation based. Most of those parents are not paying for the children to be seen. Mm-hmm. And you never know what these financial hardships are already for the kids in these hospitals. So if I can give something, and I know it's not a lot, right? It's just a book, but this book has a solid value, especially if it can change their mindset. Wayne Dyer says this. He's a motivational speaker. He was around for 40, 50 years, but he had just recently died a couple years ago. He says,
well, in the industry,
when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Wow.
It is a very powerful quote to teach adults and children. Well, what do you mean? Well, let's take what you're looking at. How can we change that? It doesn't mean it'll change their diagnosis. It means that they'll change how they're thinking about it. Mm-hmm. How can we be happy? You're already sad about it. People around you are sad about it. How can you get your child or your foster kid or your niece or nephew or your kid's friend to change how they feel? And I get people are doing that. Parents are trying. But my book, I feel, is a valuable asset to help kids transform what it is they're feeling the best they can. I mean, it doesn't mean it's permanent, but the more you work at something, it becomes permanent.
Now, you started a GoFundMe to help accomplish that goal. Why did you need to do that? Because it's pretty expensive, I imagine.
So on average, to print my book in the United States, it's $4 to $5 a book. Mm-hmm. 40,000 copies is going to cost me about $200,000. Mm-hmm. Gas for me to travel across the United States to deliver this. It's like when I feel like some people are like, man, that's a large number. And it kind of is.
Yeah.
It is. But the reality behind it is that's what I have to do. Mm-hmm. I have to reach my goal. Mm-hmm. I have to be able to do this because my life's purpose is inside there. Mm-hmm. It's coming from a very strong personal standpoint of me, my emotions, how much I want to go in and talk to every single kid, but I can't. Like, my life was really, really hard growing up. It was not simple. I literally had to teach myself, raise myself, teach myself. I grew up in the Appalachian Trails of Athens.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of people can paint. It's not the whole Appalachian's not a bad thing. It's just, I grew up in the hollers.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very strong lineage of going through things and then going through what we've been through and being better. And it's just like, man, I'm exhausted, but I'm inspired. This is where I feel like if I could just show these kids how I feel, maybe they can vibe off me.
Yeah.
And I really hope they follow the journey because we're going to vlog it. Everything we do.
You're going to get van life 2.0?
Right?
Yes.
Technically.
RV life this time.
RV life.
It's going to have to be upgraded dramatically because I'm carrying thousands of books with me.
Yes.
And we need that.
Gas mileage is going to suck.
Literally, it's just going to suck the gas. But
yeah, literally and figuratively.
Exactly, and gas prices are so high right now. But I need every bit of the help I can get. $250,000 is actually probably slightly pushing it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to seem like I'm just this weird, greedy author who's taking a diagnosis and turning it into a profit.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, how can I get if you backtrack on me and Kayla, for 10 years now, you can find a history of us every year, 3 times a year. We are constantly drives for the homeless, going down on New Year's Eve, and there's video of it. We YouTubed it, and anything we can do to help people, we're there. My heart is there. Her heart is there. I love helping people feel better. That is where I'm at because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Is it selfish? Maybe, but everybody benefits from it.
Yeah.
They do. They're happy.
I don't
They're
think
inspired.
I don't think it's selfish to fulfill what you feel in your
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
I'm coming from the most genuine place I can ever come from. It's like I told Kayla, making this kids book was probably the most real thing that I feel I have ever done in my life. Ever. And I know it's just a kids book, but there is a solid message in that kids book. And that's as real as I can be, and my heart is there.
Yeah. Well, it's not just a kid, but it's a kids book because those are important, because those are the people growing up to be adults who are going to change the world.
Future, right? Exactly. They're going to be you. They're going to be me. And if that book, my book, set in there, think back, they're like, do you remember that Making Sunshine book? And they're like, kind of. And he's like, he. But in my head, he's a he. And he's like, I do.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it also takes a kid's book for an adult to see it in a very simplified form.
Yeah.
To go, okay.
Yeah.
I've been missing it because I don't like guru-ish talk.
Yeah.
I don't like spirituality. I don't want to hear it. Like, that's what some people feel.
Yeah.
But read it through a kid's book where I got you.
Yeah.
Right? I got you there. You're going to read that to somebody. I got you. So, to the adults, I got you.
And I think going back to the selfish thing, I think everything we do is a little selfish because we want to do it, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
To be a little selfish because it's helping the greater good. It's the overly selfish that's the problem.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
my little hippie thing.
Right. You'll have a hippie van at the end of the year. Hey, you could travel with us while we do it.
Yeah, let's go. Hop on.
Anything else you want to say about this? Anything that you want to make sure people know about? Anything you thought I'd ask you that I didn't?
I mean, I think we've touched on a lot of it off the record, but what you're looking at here, and I don't care if it is on the record, but so our goal is to get a support team of 500 people
Okay.
that are supporting what I'm doing and who are willing to push my message.
More message.
I'm Sean Connery. I want to really push my message. Who are willing to push my message. That's actually a tongue twister. Push my message with me. It's like, and all these people, and putting the GoFundMe out there was premature because everyone was like, here you are. My eyebrows twitching so bad. It's like,
She has face spasms.
but here's your
Tourette's
message.
Tourette's of the face.
Yeah. But they're like, how can I donate? And so I kind of put that out early, and I wasn't ready for it, but I think it worked out. So far, this is where we're at with getting support.
Okay.
Not financial. That's not all financial.
Just
That's
bodies.
share.
Yeah.
Or someone says, I got 3 people who are willing to support you. Push your campaign. We need to get your word out. Right now, it's about getting a solid Making Sunshine squad and getting everybody that wants to be, every one of these names is going on my website under a contribution of some form. Like, I'm
Either
going
in
to
kind or something,
acknowledge every single one of these people. Because of you, this is successful. I'm able to accomplish what it is in my life I am born to do.
And this is just a physical reminder of what you're doing.
Our walls are, some of it is actually taken down, but I was like, we look like our house is a hot mess, but they're vision boards. Like,
Okay.
I need to know what I'm doing and what I need to do next. And my book is about a child superhero who takes darkness and turns it into light. What?
By the power of thought. These are your words. I'm
know.
just reminding you.
Okay, ready? I just wrote this, so I'm like, okay, I need something condensed. Like, how can I literally condense this? So Making Sunshine is about a child superhero who takes darkness and turns it into light with the power of thought. That's the condensed version of Making Sunshine.